Welcome back for another video. It's time for the preview ahead of Gameweek 12 and a double upload today with a tight turnaround for this Tuesday deadline. It's been a massive grind to get all the content out, so hit like if these videos do benefit you and consider subscribing to the channel to catch my content on your feed as soon as it drops every day. In this video we'll cover all the key information you need every game week to ensure that you arrive at better decisions. So starting with the goal scorer odds, and it's Salah top, given a 52% chance. If you have De Bruyne, it's a logical transfer this week to make the switch, but if you have Kane, it's a much trickier decision, with Kane given no reason to sell, and he's been given a 40% chance of scoring any time himself. Wilson at just 2.8% ownership could be the differential of the week, home to Everton, whose 20.1 expected goals conceded is second worst this season after Fulham, one to consider particularly if you're on a free hit. Welbeck's another one to consider on a free hit, with Brighton home to Forest this game week, and he's been given a 37% chance of scoring any time, only 6.5 mil. Outside of a free hit, if you're looking to make a striker transfer, Mitrovic and Solanke look like the more sensible picks, 6.7 mil and 5.8 mil respectively. Onto the clean sheet odds, and top for Gameweek 12 is Brighton with a 48% chance of shutting Forest out. Next highest is Newcastle with a 39% chance. If you don't own Trippier at this point, you'll want to find a way to get him as soon as possible, particularly home to Everton this game week. If you still own James and not Trippier, the move makes itself. Liverpool will take a huge confidence boost into Gameweek 12 after a win over Man City, including a clean sheet in the 1-0 win. They've got a 38% chance of a clean sheet versus West Ham. Is it time to reconsider Alexander-Arnold and Robertson? The fullbacks have been out of our thinking for some time, but Trent in particular looks tempting for 7.2 mil, and he's the cheapest he's been since the 2019-20 season. Despite returning in only one game week this season, he's second among all defenders for expected goal involvement, so he's been unlucky as well. Ward owners could be tempted to give him the nod again with a 25% chance of a clean sheet, tied with Wolves. Sarr's now the top scoring keeper in the game after saving a penalty on the weekend. Rock bottom this game is West Ham, given a 9% chance of a clean sheet away to Liverpool, and it's promising reading for those looking at Brighton attackers, with Forest given an 11% chance. Thanks to FPL Review for the goal scorer and clean sheet probabilities this week. Onto the top projected points among all players, and Salah's well out in front on the projections with 7.2 points, followed by Kane on 5.3 and Wilson on 5. We'll take a look at the most bought and sold players next, with Trossard right up there on the projections. He's a popular Maddison replacement. Zaha's another one to consider. The issue with Trossard is that it's one good fixture, followed by Man City and then Chelsea. Ideally you'd want to bench him in Gameweek 13 in particular, away to Man City, or move him straight on. While Zaha isn't in form currently, the fixtures are there to deliver. Nunez is projected 4.7 points, but it's a tricky one to predict how Klopp lines up with both Diaz and Jota out. It could be Nunez down the left with Firmino through the middle, or perhaps one of them gets a rest with Carvalho getting a game. Trippier, Mitrovic and Sterling are all projected 4.6 points, Solanke with 4.4 and Sanchez with 4.3. What we do need to be careful of is not to bin off the likes of Haaland, Cancelo and Martinelli when they come out of the blank with such good fixtures. De Bruyne is the more justifiable sell, as many managers are looking to switch to Salah and then transfer another player to Foden, so in effect you're giving yourself the best captain for Gameweek 12 on paper, while also retaining your Man City attackers. It's a smart play and likely how I'll navigate the next two game weeks myself. Onto the most transfer players, and following straight on from that conversation, it is Salah top with over 400,000 new managers owning him. So is he back? He's been a frustration to own this season, but he looks to be finding his way back into some form, and the next three are West Ham at home, Forest away and then Leeds at home. Mount's the second most transferred in player, and he's another very good Maddison replacement, alongside Trossard who is third. No sign of Solanke surprisingly, who has kept pace with Tony in recent game weeks, but Tony and Mitrovic are among the most transferred strikers. Foden's a bizarre one to see here. The only reason he should be in any manager's transfers is if they're on a Gameweek 12 wildcard and plan to bench him for this game week only. Outside of that, there's no reason to spend a transfer on a player who's blanking. A quick look at the most sold players before the captain poll results, and James is top with over 750,000 managers selling him. He's injured long term and perhaps won't feature at all before the World Cup, and he's in a race to even make the England squad. Maddison is the second most sold following his suspension, and a few very good replacements available among the projections and goal scorer odds. Diaz is another one injured long term and not back until after the World Cup in his case. Interestingly, over 100,000 have decided to sell Haaland. This one seems very risky unless those managers have a plan to get him straight back in Gameweek 13, but it's very messy. City's final stretch consists of 3 home games: Brighton home, Leicester away, Fulham home and Brentford home. Alexander-Arnold's also among the most sold, but at this point you'd absolutely keep him if you got him. And the next 3 are great fixtures for Liverpool, and we talked about his merits plenty before. Quite fittingly, Foden's the 12th most transferred in, and also the 12th most transferred out. We'll finish the preview with the captain poll results as always. Thanks to everyone who voted on the poll on the Discord. If you'd like to join, the link's below. The results are as follows. It's Salah top with 50.8% of your vote, followed by Kane with 20.9%. It looks like it could be a big swing game week if you get your captaincy right. Elsewhere, Trossard's third of 12.3%, Mitrovic with 4%, and a few votes for Son, Zaha and Wilson. 7.9% voted for other. That wraps up this episode of the preview. Thanks for watching. Been a big grind to get all the content out, so please do subscribe if you enjoy the content and hit like on the video. See you soon for the next one.